one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first thing on the agenda is approval of the minutes from our November 7th meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as written.
Second.
Motion made by Jim, seconded by Neil to approve the November 7th minutes. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Item 4, approval of Sondhi contract.
But that was put on.
Board, I would ask that that matter be continued to the next meeting, which I believe is December 12th.
So moved. Second.
Motion made by Dan, seconded by Neil to continue item 4, approval of the Sondhi contract. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Item 5, wastewater treatment plant expansion, bid results. Josh Spencer.
Where is it?
Good evening. So you guys are aware that we are in the process of doing a wastewater treatment plant expansion. The bids were advertised and opened on October 31st, 2018. We had 3 bidders. All 3 bids came in over our planned budget to construct the project. As we have worked through this and gone over some possible options for rescoping and redesigning the project, we have came up with some ideas and processes that we think that we can get the budget down to where we have a budget that we can work within. So at this time, we're asking the board to table the motion that was originally discussed about re-advertising for bids and rescoping the project. We would like to work with Thieneman on continuing the process of coming together on possibly awarding the project and moving forward with the plant expansion. We would like the board to also be involved and see these new ideas and options that we have available to us.
So does that need to be continued, or does that need to be tabled?
Continued until the December 12th meeting, please.
Okay.
What's the bid? One
No,
question. What's the bid holding period? Is it 60 days or?
Yeah,
Okay.
60 days.
And I believe we expire the end of December, correct?
That's correct.
Thank you.
We need a motion for that, or?
To continue if.
I'll make the motion to continue item 5, wastewater treatment plant expansion bid results.
Second.
Motion made by Neil, seconded by Bill to continue item 5, wastewater treatment plant expansion bid results. All those, any other comments from any audience? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck. Good luck.
Oh, yeah. I think we've got a good plan going. Thieneman came yesterday, and things are going well. So
Good. Great to hear.
Great.
Okay, item 6, wastewater treatment plant sludge pump surplus listed as an action item. Josh?
yeah, so we have completed our dewatering project with the centrifuge. With that, we process and haul our sludge in a different way, in a different manner. So this pump is no longer needed for hauling the sludge. We would like to declare this pump as surplus and advertise to bid for sale.
Don't need to keep it around for parts, not usable?
No, it's no longer usable.
All right.
I would defer to Bob. Bob knows our plant very well. And
Okay.
I do have a question. So we still have the option of liquid sludge?
yes, that is true. It's just this.
Do we have another pump that handles pumping that into the truck?
Yeah, we replaced this one pump with 2 pumps with the centrifuge project. So this pump is no longer needed. So.
Okay.
Then I move to declare the Vaughn HE4PSCS sludge pump and the Baldor control panel as surplus and authorize the wastewater operations manager to sell this equipment per Indiana Code IC 5-22-22-4.
Second that.
Motion made by Dan, seconded by Jim to approve the plant sludge pump as surplus. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Item 7, PER signing authority listed as an action item.
That is me. By way of background, board, we in May, this is part of our state revolving fund loan program, and we had previously passed a resolution allowing Mike Whitman to act as our signatory authority. This process to change over was started maybe a month or so ago, before we had completed negotiations or a new general manager, as later on the agenda hopefully will be finalized, will be inserted. The thought process was to insert Sandra as the CFO, allowing her to have signatory authority on this SRF program. The recommendation is to leave her in that role because Mr. Basquill, who has been offered the position as new general manager, will be coming in and cold to this. Will most likely would look to Sandra anyway for signing authority, and not knowing the timing of things, we thought this best to leave her in that role. So I'd be happy to answer any questions. Otherwise, I will be happy to read the resolution.
Questions for Jeff?
Resolution 2018-06, a resolution providing for signatory authority for the State Revolving Fund Loan Program, whereas the Lebanon Utility Service Board operates a municipally owned utility known as Lebanon Utilities. The Lebanon Utilities of Indiana has plans for a drinking water infrastructure improvement project to meet state and federal regulations, and the participant intends to proceed with the construction of such project. And whereas in order to move forward with the project, the utility desires to make application for funding purposes to the State Revolving Fund Loan Program. Now therefore be it resolved by the board, by the governing body of the participant, that in May of 2018, the Lebanon Utility Service Board adopted Resolution 2018-02, authorizing then GM Mike Whitman as the SRF signatory. Because of Mike Whitman's retirement from Lebanon Utilities, Resolution 2018-02 should hereby be rescinded. 2, Sandra Morgan, CFO, be authorized to make application for SRF loan and provide the SRF loan program such information, data, documents pertaining to the loan process as may be required, and otherwise act as an authorized representative of the participant. The participant agrees to comply with state and federal requirements as they pertain to the SRF loan program, and two certified copies of this resolution be prepared and submitted as part of the participant's preliminary engineering report adopted by the Lebanon Utility Service Board this date.
Just to comment on that, having some familiarity with this, the SRF requires that any transmittal letter be signed by the authorized representative. The engineering firm just can't prepare the transmittal letter and sign off on it. And it's probably good that it forces us to take a look at it before it's sent in. But
That's right, Gary. And one additional comment, they won't just allow a generic title. You've got to specifically name someone. So we couldn't just put in there GM or acting GM. It needs to be listed as a specific individual.
with that then, if there's no other questions or comments, I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2018-06, resolution accepting Indiana's drinking water state revolving loan program preliminary engineering report.
I second that.
Motion made by Neil, seconded by Jim to approve Resolution 2018-06. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Item 8, 2019 Biosolids Hauling and Disposal Award of Contract. This is an action item. Michael?
Hi, good evening. The biosolids are generated daily, and we need to dispose of those. We do annual contracts, that's what this is. We received 4 bids. In reviewing the bids with Westler and our council, it was noticed that 2 of the 4 bidders inadvertently failed to include a copy of the pertinent pages previously approved by the pertinent pages of the previously approved Indiana Department of Environmental Management permit under which the work will be performed, along with attesting the bid and the certificate of insurance and general liability insurance. We informally requested the bidders provide copies of the same within 2 business days. The lowest bidder provided some documentation but failed to include the IDEM permit as required by the bid process. The second lowest bidder supplemented their bid response in a timely manner and responsive manner. After reviewing the bid responses and the supplemental materials with Westler and council, it's our recommendation that the first lowest bid be found non-responsive and the 2019 Biosolids Hauling and Disposal contract be awarded to the second lowest bidder, which is Carl Enviro Organic Recycling Incorporated. And incidentally, they currently are the ones doing our hauling at this point. So I'm making a recommendation that the board accept the 2019 Biosolids and Disposal bid as submitted by Carl and authorize signature of all pertinent documents. Any questions?
I have a couple. So it looks like are we awarding 2 contracts like we did last year, one for liquid, one for solid?
Yes. And that purpose for that would be we are awarding it to one entity, which is Carl. But the reason why we wanted to have liquid as an option was that if we did have a breakdown with the centrifuge, then we would have a place to dispose. We would have a manner in which to dispose of it if it was a long lead item.
One is a backup agreement in case we're unable to dispose of liquid. So we anticipate very low use of that, and the way that it has historically been done is it's been run as 2 agreements. One is almost an emergency backup agreement in case we need to dispose of liquid. I think that's why it's been historically done that way.
Thanks for the chiming in.
So
Jeff.
how does this price compare to last year's?
It is it's a slight increase. And I can't think off the top of my head, but it's maybe about $2. Okay, all right. Thank you.
$2. So the
$2,
budget that you have on your sheet here is based on an estimated quantity.
Right. Yeah, based on the estimated quantity using previously last year's with some sort of a factor of safety. Or
okay. Any other questions?
So since we are not recommending approval of the lowest bidder, I wanted to take just in addition a moment to explain beyond what Michael did, is that we're asking you to find that part of the lowest bidder's response did not include a substantive portion of our bid request, and that's their IDEM certificate. And there was also an insurance deficiency issue, but really the IDEM certificate allows them to meet the demand and spread and show us that they're certified to do so. Yeah. So without that, we can't count on them actually being able to spread the effluent or the solids or liquids, and we believe it would not be responsible to award them the contract, and that's why we're recommending the next lowest bidder be awarded the contracts.
And the next lowest bidder, Michael, you probably said this is who we're currently using, right?
Yes.
Okay.
They're out of Crawfordsville.
Good.
All right. Okay.
Who wants to read that big motion?
Sorry.
Guess that means me.
You volunteered.
Okay.
Thank you, Neil, ahead of time.
All right, I'll move to find that the lowest bid by Devlin is non-responsive to our bid request related to the IDEM permit requirements. Failure to comply with this element of our bid request is substantive deficiency and would pose increased liability to the utility. I therefore move to approve the second lowest bid presented by Carlo Enviro Organic Recycling and authorize chairman of the board to sign the agreement.
Second.
Okay, motion made by Neil, seconded by Bill to declare the low bid non-responsive for the biosolids hauling and award a contract to Carl Brothers. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Next item, 2019 chemical bid, award of contract. Michael?
Yes, this is the annual chemical bid for both water and wastewater. Both the water treatment plants and the wastewater treatment plants use chemicals, and we use those on an annual basis. So we received 2 bids, one from Brentag Mid-South and the other was Water Solutions Unlimited, both of which are attached in your documents. It's my recommendation that the board accept the 2019 chemical bid for chlorine, aluminum sulfate, sulfur dioxide, and ferric acid from Brentag Mid-South, and phosphate from Water Solutions Unlimited, and authorize signature of all pertinent documents.
Questions? Comments?
Again, Michael, is this the same provider? Or
Yeah, but we're familiar with both,
Okay.
and we've used both in the past. Currently, right now, we're using Brentag for, I believe, everything except for one chemical.
Okay.
So this is not, good folks, they're qualified bidders, and we're comfortable with them.
Good, thanks.
Are we a part of a buying group on that?
No.
Is that something that we abandoned?
We did abandon that.
Okay.
And it simplified the process. And
Sure.
the good news is I think we're getting competitive bids still, so
Okay.
we're feeling comfortable about what we're doing.
Okay. Yeah, I would agree.
I would entertain a motion then for that item.
So move. Second.
Motion made by Bill, seconded by Jim to approve the chemical bid recommendation award, partially to Water Solutions and partially to Brentag South. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Next item, approval of a return-activated sludge pump purchase. Michael?
Well, this one is sort of an interesting item. Normally, we try to go to the board in advance of taking action on equipment. This item was very critical for the wastewater treatment plant and has a long lead time, and we wanted to move on getting a replacement. So quotes were obtained for a replacement pump, and I communicated with the board by passing along an email back on, it's like on November the 9th. And basically, at this point, we're asking the board to approve retroactively the purchase of a RAS pump from BBC Pump and Equipment in the amount of $15,108 plus freight charges, which are unknown at this time. So it's a critical pump that pumps the sludge back to the return, back to the oxidation ditches. And I can tell you right now, there's more to the story about how painful it would be, and I will let you, next time you see Tony Green, feel free to ask him how painful it could be, or Ron Holloman, for that matter. They can explain why it's so important, so.
How much freight is it?
What was that now?
What's the freight cost? Do you have any-
It's unknown at this time because it hasn't been shipped. It had this.
I mean, is it real heavy or?
Oh, yes,
Yeah, it takes a crane truck to pick it up.
Woo,
Yeah.
okay.
We have a timeline on delivery of that, or 10, 12 weeks? Okay.
Yeah.
In 12
So,
weeks,
by-
okay.
by-
Well, I think that was the right move to go ahead and move on that, Michael, so thanks.
I want to thank my staff for bringing the urgency to my attention, and those guys really do a good job with explaining how critical things are.
Okay.
And we want to try to cut through the clutter sometimes, so thanks.
Okay, other questions? If not, I would entertain a motion.
Go ahead.
No, you got it.
I make a motion, we move to retroactively approve the purchase of the return activated sludge pump and equipment in the amount of $15,108 plus freight.
Second.
Motion made by Bill, seconded by Dan to approve retroactively approve the purchase of the return activated sludge pump. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Next item, wastewater enforcement response plan revision, listed as an action item. Michael?
Yes, you should have a copy of a red line version of the existing enforcement response plan, which was approved by the Utility Service Board on April the 19th in 2017. There's some changes that include matching the pH levels in the ERP to the sewer use ordinance and clarifying section 5.2.5 for the administrative orders and special agreements. With the help of Amy Harvell with Wessler, also with Tony Green, who's our pretreatment coordinator, they noticed a glitch in these numbers, and then also had some questions and clarifications. So these are really straightforward, but from a procedural standpoint, we're asking for the board, we're recommending the board approve the revised enforcement response plan and authorize signature of all pertinent documents so we can have a recorded ERP for our use. So, any questions you might have at this point?
Just a comment, it looked like 65 and 210 are pretty high pH numbers on there
Yeah. Okay.
that were crossed out.
Yes.
Must have been a typo.
Yeah.
Okay, other questions or comments? None, I would entertain a motion.
I move to approve the revised enforcement response plan.
Second.
Motion made by Neil, seconded by Jim to approve the revised enforcement response plan. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Okay, next item is pretreatment program assistance for 2019. Michael?
Yeah, on our ongoing efforts with Tony Green, who's our pretreatment coordinator for the industrial customers, Amy Harvell, along with Bob Holden, are used to help to solidify, help give us background, give information. So the wastewater utility is responsible for implementing this program with the assistance of Wessler, which helps with items such as industrial site inspection, inspection documentation, biannual sampling events, surcharge worksheets, analytical result evaluation, and enforcement actions. It's been it's been a very smooth transition for the Lebanon utilities into the pretreatment world and industrial pretreatment as a whole. And Tony's been a critical component, but Amy Harvell with Wessler has been a key component to provide steady information and guidance on this. She's not here tonight, but I would like to say that she's helped us to have a very solid program. And I asked the board to approve task order number 6 for an hourly basis not to exceed $45,000 for the year, and authorize signature of all pertinent documents. Any questions at this point?
You know if this is close to what was spent last year?
It is less than what we spent last year. In this year, 2018, what we're trying to do is, it's variable. The interaction with the customers, depending on issues and problems at their plant. So we're trying to bring that number down, but we're also not trying to get carried away, because the support she provides us, along with Bob Holden, is very invaluable when there's glitches and issues with customers. So. And then also when new customers come on board, this year, Monosol is under construction, a large company, and a lot of industrial flows are going to be heading our way. So it's very helpful to have her support and Bob's support.
Thank you. Other comments or questions? Motion?
I'd move to approve the Wessler Engineering Task Order number 6 for an hourly basis not to exceed $45,000 for the year of 2019, with the chairman of the board signing the order.
Second.
Motion made by Jim, seconded by Bill to approve task order number 06 with Wessler Engineering. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you, Michael. Next item is hiring of utility general manager. Jeff, taking that one.
Thank you, Board. As you're aware, we have been in negotiations with the selected candidate, Ed Basquill, as Mike Whitman's replacement for the general manager of Lebanon Utilities. You have been provided a letter which outlines the terms that were offered or is authorized by the board to Mr. Basquill. You'll note that Gary and Ed have signed this. It's subject to board approval. I can report that all of the conditional requirements have been met, so I believe everything is in line. We have a December 6th start date, so what I'm asking is that the board to ratify this offer letter to Mr. Basquill as signed by Chairman Gary Ladd.
I would move to approve the hiring of Ed Basquill as the Lebanon Utilities General Manager, effective December 6th of 2018.
Second.
Motion made by Jim, seconded by Neil to hire a new general manager, Ed Basquill. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Next item, approval of claims.
Move we approve payment of the claims.
Second.
Made by Dan, seconded by Neil to approve the claims. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Any other business come before the board from board members? Questions, comments? Next item is opportunity for public comment. Anyone in the audience like to speak? Seeing no comments, Our next board meeting is scheduled for December 12th at 5:00 PM. And with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion, we adjourn?
Second.
It's made by Bill, seconded by Dan to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you very much and have a good evening.